7:01. We're late.
We're always late. We had
Yeah,
this conversation
true.
earlier. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Saturday Sad Boys episode 3. We're back. We have decided we're going to take the show in a little bit of a different direction. We're actually going to start picking a topic kind of the week of, which is a little weird for us considering we're all tangent-minded people who easily get distracted.
Yep.
But we are going to try and pick a topic and stay on that topic for the whole hour. I'm very tired. Path of Exile came out yesterday, and it was the biggest mess of a release I have seen in a long time.
So it's just out of beta?
No. New league.
Oh, new league. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, see, I was confused too. Someone was like, "Oh, Path of Exile." It came out yesterday, and I was like PoE 2 or
No, we're not getting PoE2 for like another 2 years. Well, let's be honest. That's just ARPGs. None of them come out of beta for 9 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did not sleep the best as per usual, but even a little bit worse. I didn't actually play last night because, as I said, it was the worst release I think I've ever seen for a video game ever. Their servers went offline every 10 minutes.
Hang on.
I'm not even joking. It was awful.
Did you play Diablo 3 at launch? Anyway, we are supposed to have a topic?
Yes.
Are we doing introductions each time? What if there's new people here and they don't know who the fuck we are?
That is true. Hello, you guys can go first. Carl's first in line.
Oh, Carl's first.
So hi, I'm a dumb bitch. My name's Carl. I play video games.
Wow.
Wow, helpful.
Wow. You're next.
Okay, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dustin, aka Dudney.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can find me at twitch.tv/Dudney. Mostly playing Super Mario 64 because I have an obsession with a 20-year-old game.
That was going a different direction in my mind.
I'm Nathan, and I still have tinnitus. Okay, what Dudney? Give us a topic. You're the big host boy.
I'm falling apart right now.
You're the big host boy.
I know. So our topic today is we're going to be talking about the comeback in recent years. I would say the last, I guess it would be close to the last 5 years. The resurgence of comics and vinyl and how that's kind of become a thing again, considering both of those things were big in the late 60s, early 70s. And then kind of died out in the 80s and 90s. And then, mid 2000s, everybody's like, hey, this is cool. Let's bring this back. And which is awesome. But
it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. I have some vinyl. I'm not a vinyl collector by any stretch of the imagination. I bought some things on vinyl, but it's become super popular to be the hipster guy that has a record player that listens to only vinyl, and I don't know. I think it's cool. It's just I thought technology died for a reason,
Well, so there's definitely an audio quality thing. I wouldn't say it's cool to be the guy that only listens to it on vinyl. I think that guy's mostly annoying. You're like, oh man, do you listen to this new album? It's like, oh, is it out on vinyl? No, I can't listen to that. There's no possible way I could listen to anything but vinyl. Fuck that guy. I think it's really cool, and it forces you to sit down and listen to the song. Instead of being like, oh, I don't really like the start of this song. If you want to get to the next song, you got to listen through that track, and it's nice. I've only recently gotten into it, and not in a I'm gonna collect all vinyl. It's there's a couple bands, and then if I come across something rare or some really nice art, then I'm gonna get it and put it up on the wall next to my guitars. Which is originally what I was gonna do. I wasn't even gonna listen to it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna listen to vinyl. I'm just gonna put it on the wall as art. And then my friend's like, why though? Why not just get a record player and listen to it? It's Yeah, okay, I could do that.
My record player is sitting in my mom's basement. And I am honestly not gonna buy another one.
No, that's fair, man. If you have a good one, why would you go and buy another one?
So I left all my vinyl and stuff up there, and I have some cool stuff. Like I really enjoy, like, again, the late 80s, early 90s hip hop on vinyl, because there's like something about that. But
Do you sit on the floor and listen to it?
oh hell yeah.
Because the first time I popped a record on my record player, I was like, I plugged my headphones in because I don't have like good external speakers to hook up to it. And again, my headphones are really good. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and listen to this. And I'm like, can't get very far from the record player. I'm just
No.
gonna sit here on the floor. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Lay
And
on
then-
the floor.
Yeah.
on
And
a
then I was
beanbag.
like, man,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit. So I laid down just listening to the music. I'm like, I feel like this is what you're supposed to do when you listen
Yep.
to vinyl, right?
It's absolutely the way that you're supposed to listen to vinyl.
Most of the time when I listen to vinyl, it's when I'm at my buddy's house because, like, myself, I only have like 3 records and I don't have them here. And I need to buy a turntable. That's the only thing stopping me. I don't want to get an actual record player. I just want a turntable I can plug some, composite cables into and feed into my PA and come out my good speakers and what have you.
I definitely don't see myself being the guy who's like, yeah, I'm only gonna get vinyl and only listen to things on vinyl, because vinyl, you can get some bargain stuff. Not a lot of the stuff I'm looking for is gonna be in the bargain bin.
No, especially if you're looking for newer stuff, it's all gonna be
Yeah,
collector's vinyls and
Yeah.
$65 for a single
Actually-
record. And
well, they come on they 2 records now because they do it in a longer format.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so like for example, last week I bought the Mac Miller Swimming in Circles Deluxe Edition as a anniversary gift for my friend's wedding. And that came with 4 records for 2 albums. Like 4 actual physical vinyls.
Mhm.
It's like 4 songs per side. Flip it, bitch. The only records I actually own are just like 3 Dance Gavin Dance records. And I pretty much bought them because, like, yeah, one day I do want to get a turntable, whatever. And then one of them is transparent, which is like really cool. And I'm like, that's a gimmick I can get behind.
Pretty fucking good kitty right there.
That's a decent fucking kitty right there.
If he's trying to climb onto my. Oh, hold on. Let me move my microphone.
It's a Daft Punk
Daft
Alive
Punk.
97.
Oh,
On
that's
vinyl.
actually sick as.
Yeah. Yeah. Super stoked to get that. Want to listen to it really bad, but also I don't. I'm like, nah, just keep it in the wrap. Keep it in the wrap, Nathan. Just don't ever open it. I think it's a
Don't do it.
repressing, so it's not like as rare, but
My mic.
still.
The comeback of vinyl and stuff, and the fact that, like, if you go to a record store now, like, or what would be considered like a record store, like a CD store or something like that, the fact that they carry vinyl again is really cool, and they have like budget vinyl bins and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
Like, I look through that shit every time.
Oh yeah.
Even
Like HMV, which became Sunset Records in
Yes.
Calgary. And maybe probably all over Canada, I'd assume at this point. I don't think HMV is alive anymore anywhere.
yeah, I think it's everywhere in Canada. Sunset.
Yeah. But they have vinyl bins and they sell record players and shit. Like, it's really cool to go in there and be like, oh, this is like, and it's not like a specific store for that. They sell DVDs and music and everything, but they have a fucking record section again. And that's just really neat to go in and be like, look at all this shit.
But I have been to a couple like swap meets, or like, there's like, I don't know what it would be considered, but it's like a parking. Yeah, same Thrax. Sometimes there's like parking lot meetups where guys are like selling vinyls and video games and stuff out of the backs of their cars. It's pretty much a swap meet, or like the
equivalent,
a thrift and trade, or whatever they're called. But
I'm not making that joke.
yeah, don't make. I know what you're thinking.
No, it'll derail the conversation. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Wow. Derail the conversation? Look, it's already happened.
Fuck.
Swap
Swap
meet.
meet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's always guys there selling, like, they got milk carton like things full of vinyl records and stuff that they're selling for like whatever $4 or $5 a piece. Was it Vic? The Sunset Records had releases for new vinyl. Yeah, like they have it's on the wall with the new CDs and stuff, like actual vinyl walls and stuff, which is crazy considering we live in 40 years after the technology apparently died.
We're gonna get a cassette resurgence, aren't we?
Well, yeah, no. So I was gonna bring that up, right? Because it's like one good place to find vinyls and cassettes alike, like goddamn yard sales. They'll have them in their garage in this one big fucking box, and it's like, oh, you want those 7 cassette tapes? $2.
Yeah. Well, the thing about cassettes, the difference between boomers are the problem.
Yeah,
they really are. The problem with cassettes, so records survive because they like if they're kept indoors and stuff, they don't warp and stuff. Whereas cassettes, after like 10 years, they just sound like shit because the spools die on them.
Yeah.
And the fucking like
the tape gets over.
That reminds me of me and my brother were listening to a cassette tape one day where it was Far Beyond Driven by Pantera. We were out in the camper because it was summertime and we wanted to be outside where it was cooler. And oops, we forgot the cassette tape inside the camper for 2 weeks. Play that thing again, and it's all stretched and war next time you try and play it. Because it just got a little too hot in there.
Yeah.
A little too hot, melted a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, man. Fuck. My parents had to buy like 3 copies of Flesh and Blood by Poison. Because like when I was 2 years old, I would be like, I would say Bop Bop. The first song on that album is Unskinny Bop. And I would like force my parents to play that song over and fucking over. So the cassettes would just wear out because I had to listen to that song on fucking loop. Like,
the only way they could bring cassettes back is if they made the material stronger somehow.
Can we update the channel name to Saturday Night Sad Boomers, please? Thank you.
Sad Boomers. Back in my day.
Listen, back in my day.
I remember watching it on the Laserdisc.
I was looking up when did they stop manufacturing cassettes. But the first thing that came up was when did they stop manufacturing Quaaludes?
Wasn't that the 70s? I don't know. Never mind. Back to cassettes.
Early 80s, but yeah.
The other day, we turned on the radio to the classic rock channel, and they start playing like fucking 90s Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm like, that's not classic rock.
That was 20 years ago.
That is
so.
And then it's like
classic rock now,
and then
dude.
I'm just like that guy sitting there, like holding his head at the fucking kitchen table, like, oh my god, no.
Oh god, no.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry.
I'm like,
Born
oh
in
yeah,
the
man.
80s, you got to think like stuff that was popular when I was a kid. Ace of Base, fucking like the Cranberries, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Hey, the Cranberries is good.
I love the Cranberries. Nirvana. Nirvana is dad rock now.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Fuck. Guys, the 90s were almost 30 years ago. 92 was 30 years ago almost.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot. Damn it.
We are at a point
2000 was 20 years ago.
Everything that our parents enjoyed is now considered like that is old folks rock.
Yeah.
And what we enjoyed as kids is classic music. To get on to comics. Yeah. I'm not sure if anybody else has been watching the resurgence of comic books, especially with the new 52 era of Marvel Comics, which the Marvel Comics with the reboot that they did has actually been pretty awesome. And then the like resurgence of graphic novels, especially older graphic novels being turned into television shows recently. And the television shows actually being decent because some production companies are like, let's actually put some money into these and make them okay. Like The Boiz, if you guys haven't watched that on Amazon, really, really good. And they're doing a very good job of actually following the storyline.
What? Okay, so The Boiz was a graphic novel before?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, fuck.
A really good graphic novel. Invincible, which is
I watched like half the first season of The Boys, and then something distracted me, and I didn't get back into it.
I saw good things about it, but
As per usual with me,
Yeah.
and I was enjoying it when I was watching it, but it's one of those shows that gives me stress.
Yeah. I get that.
I get like agitated watching. I'm like, everything's going to shit. Fuck.
Um,
No.
Yeah. Invincible is really good. That's on Prime now as well. Lock and Key, that's on Netflix. And Lock and Key, again, mid-90s graphic novel being turned into a television show that is actually decent.
Wait, Invincible is related to Spawn somehow? Or is that just
No,
fancy art? That might
just fancy art.
Maybe it's the same publisher?
Possibly.
I don't
I
know.
actually, I don't know if they did any crossover with Todd McFarlane. I'm not at least as far as I got in the graphic novels.
why do
Fair
I know
enough.
Todd
Obviously-
McFarlane?
He made Spawn. And he
Oh.
did the old Venom comics.
Well, I like
And-
Venom.
And
Me too.
did one offshoot of Spider-Man that is beloved by Stan Lee, and he really respects Todd McFarlane because of the 8 comics that he drew of Spider-Man.
Well,
Hey man, when you do a good job.
Yep.
McFarlane, also from Calgary? Am I wrong in
Yes.
thinking that?
yes, he is.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not gonna
that
say
was really cool.
I know much about comics in general, but I like me some Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I actually really like the direction that they're going with Spider-Man right now. I'm not sure if anybody has followed the storyline of Spider-Man and the fact that it is Miles Morales who is the new Spider-Man. And I think it's actually been awesome to have Miles Morales and have somebody else other than Peter Parker wearing the mantle of Spider-Man
Yeah.
and doing a storyline. Peter-
Speaking of Spider-Man, I liked the idea of the Superior Spider-Man. If you read
Yes.
that storyline, that was really good.
Superior
Yes.
Spider-Man.
How old is Superior Spider-Man?
Old,
it old enough that we can-
95-ish.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
No, it can't be that old.
I lied. 2013.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. So
Well,
is that long enough that we can
That's
talk
a huge
spoilers?
disparity.
Yeah.
Can we?
Sorry.
Okay. But it's not Peter Parker. It's his body, but it's not Peter Parker. And he takes Spider-Man in a far, more interesting direction.
Yes.
Instead of being like morally compromised and shit, he does what's best for everybody. It's a
It's-
very good take on Spider-Man.
it's the way the Dark Knight should have been for Batman.
Right.
Well, so the Dark Knight Batman comics is actually very different than the Dark Knight movies that we got, which I'm going to be the first to say it. I did not like them, and I don't like Christian Bale as Batman, unlike everyone else on the face of the planet.
Hi,
Is
I
that
don't
the-
like Christian Bale as Batman either.
Is that the guy who did the shitty deep voice, or is that a different Batman?
That's the
Enemy!
guy. The fucking newest
Where is
Batman.
she?
Yeah.
You'll be in a vat of jail forever. You know that guy.
Yeah.
I thought
I don't know. I
Bruce
don't watch
Wayne
these
was okay,
movies.
'cause he has the like dickish millionaire billionaire attitude down, but I don't think he's a good Batman.
But the Dark Knight, he was very much the Dark Knight. It's him kicking the absolute shit out of people to like the brink of their death and him not giving a single shit about it. Instead of him being like Detective Batman, you know, making sure everybody's okay and being the good guy, like no, he was the anti-hero where he's just fucking people up all
Was-
the time.
Was the Dark Knight a 90s Batman?
Yes.
Yes, of course it was, because the 90s fucking loved their anti-heroes.
Yes.
schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Fucking yeah, and that's why Venom Lethal Protector came out, because they
Yes.
were like, hey, well, we created this villain, it's Venom, and he knows everything about Spider-Man, and he wants to kill Spider-Man. Everyone's like, oh, this guy's like really cool, like we want more of him. And they're like, okay, what if he was like saving people but violently? And everyone's like, that's it, that's the formula, that's the one, we did it.
Oh, He just
And
decided
that's my favorite era of Venom. I've read so many of the Venom comics up to and including all of the Agent Venom stuff. I haven't gotten around to Space Knight yet though. Yeah, Venom went to space.
I don't think I've read those either.
Space. I'm in space.
And now he's back with Eddie Brock. The symbiote is. So things are when
That's
Dredd was big, exactly.
Dread was big, yeah.
I've read some I actually read Batman and Judge Dredd crossover that was really good.
The Batman and Spawn crossover will forever probably be like top 4 comic for me.
I should check that out.
It's the ending panel of that is literally Spawn with a batarang in the center of his face, and it's one of the greatest ways to end a comic I've ever seen.
I mean, that's not going to kill Spawn.
No, but it also, if you remember in like the later, like I would say like 97, 98 Spawn, he always had stitches in his face.
Yes.
And that was because of Batman's batarang.
Wait, they
being in his
actually
face.
carried that in? Oh my god,
Yes.
that's really cool. That's fantastic. Now that's good attention to detail and keeping your canon going.
Right?
You're
And
like-
that's before Spawn went super crazy and was like, I'm gonna kill God and the devil and become the ultimate ruler, and then I'm
Right.
gonna get bored and just go back to being Spawn.
Yeah, why not?
Did they literally steal that plot line for God of War?
Pretty much. Yeah, literally the story of Spawn, like he becomes so like, well, he's always been after the devil. Like the
Malbrosia.
storyline. Yeah, Malbrosia. So he goes to hell and ends up killing Satan, and then God's like sends the angels after him because now he's Satan, and he's like, all right, well, war on heaven.
Fuck
And-
you then, I guess.
Yes.
Wait, so if you kill the devil, you become the devil?
Apparently.
New life goal.
What about non-traditional comics? What are you meaning by non-traditional?
Like The Crow?
Like most graphic novels?
Like
Or
Steve Lichtman's stuff?
Mangas?
Mangas.
Have you guys ever read the Steve Lichtman comic thing he did? It's like a vulgar skeleton.
No.
It's Steve Lichtman, and it's very abrasive at certain moments.
Evil Ernie Undertaker. So you're talking like
Sailor
Like-
Moon?
like online like paneled comics or like
It was an online comic, yeah.
yeah. Like the only paneled comic I read, no.
No. The answer is no.
Well, the only
Well-
paneled comic online I read was Control Alt Delete. So
Yeah, no, Steve Lichtman is just literally like supernatural beings being vulgar and like stupid.
these are comics, not manga, not graphic.
Not graphic novel. I mean,
What the fuck is the difference between a comic and a graphic now?
well, actually, good question.
If you want to talk about manga, I can talk about manga, but if it's comic books, I have no fucking idea.
I have zero manga context.
Me.
I know that there's a Legend of Zelda one, and Dragon Ball has like 1,000.
Oh yeah, shit ton.
Um, and if it goes really outside of like Marvel around Spider-Man or DC Booster Gold, I'm fucking lost. Constantine was a comic first. Sure was.
True. Preacher was, yeah.
But yeah, I
Oh,
tried watching
Constantine,
Preacher. I couldn't
okay.
quite get into that. And there was a Constantine series too, I believe. Haven't watched it yet. It's on my list.
I'm Keanu Reeves.
I don't think Keanu's in the
Matrix.
series. Matrix.
Well, he was in wasn't he the lead in the Constantine film though?
He was.
He was.
Yeah, that's the joke I was trying to.
Yeah, I got the joke.
You want to hear a good joke?
Maybe.
Sure.
My life.
Oh, there it is.
Oh
comedy.
shit!
Big comedy. Like, comment, subscribe. But I've seen all of what is currently posted for Lucifer. And I enjoyed that. So the comic might be worth a read.
True.
Could absolutely be interesting.
I watched all of Preacher, Hellboy.
Hell
I like
lad.
Hellboy. I actually haven't.
I saw
read
some of the movie.
I haven't read a ton of the Hellboy comics. I liked the first Hellboy movie a lot. I didn't really like anything other than that, and I haven't watched the remake of a remake.
Didn't
But-
people not like it?
Who the hell was the actor for Hellboy? I know his
Originally,
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Originally.
Ron Perlman. He's in
And
like
then-
everything, and I can never remember his name.
The Mask was also a comic verse with Jim
That's-
Carrey.
Yes, so
Oh,
that
man.
is he's actually like that whole character is a lot more vulgar and a lot more violent than
I
what they
believe it.
showed in the Jim Carrey version of the film.
I believe that, and
Hmm.
I feel like they were trying to adapt it down for,
Yeah,
you know, a younger
our
audience,
age.
get that like teen rating at best, instead of pushing into the mature or PG-13. You know, oh right, it's PG if you're watching films, not teen. Thinking video game. I mean, that could be worth a read.
Oh, I'm
I
a
mean,
super huge liar.
Are
I
you?
did read comics before.
Okay.
Bionicle.
Star Trek comics. Never read any Star Trek comics. Oh, actually, Mirror Broken. It's a Star
Nut!
Trek comic, but it's in like the Goatee universe. And anyone who watches like some Star Trek will know what the Goatee universe is. It's the universe where they all have goatees, and they're like,
Oh yeah, it's been
bad.
parodied before.
So yeah, there it is. So instead of it, you look at his goatee. It's sick. So instead of it being like the there it is. Let's zoom in on that.
come
again.
your bridge.
And you see Data there. He's got Borg parts attached to him to himself better. But the entire premise of the universe is that instead of Earth siding with the Klingons and shit and making Starfleet, it's everyone basically against the Terran Alliance, which is Earth. So they're all like grizzled and pissy and angry and shit like that. And this comic delves into that in the Next Generation era, where it's really good. I haven't actually gotten around to reading the whole thing because I'm a lazy fuck and I don't know how to read.
Reading's hard.
Reading is hard, and the Canadian school system didn't do a good enough job preparing me for life. I got this Transformers comic, All Hail Megatron, and it's an alternate universe where instead of like the Autobots winning, it's the Decepticons winning. That was some good shit. There's also a comic I want to get. Again, speaking of Transformers, there's one where instead of the Decepticons being bad guys, they're good guys. It's similar to like Mirror Broken for Star Trek. But it's what the fuck is that one called? Shattered something. Then there's the Power Ranger. Hold on, I'm still on Transformers. There's a really good old 2000 somewhere trade paperback of Transformers Beast Wars, and it takes place at the same
Beast
time
Wars.
as the TV series, but time shifted slightly so that everything that's happening in Beast Wars happens regularly, but there's a secondary Beast Wars going on, same planet, and a bunch of like crazy shit going on, where they're just slightly separated in time from each other, so they never interact. And then it actually ties in to how Megatron was able to take over all of Cybertron. Because if you remember the end of Beast Wars, Megatron falls off the Ark's escape pod early and lands on Cybertron. And then he's able to beat everyone on the planet, despite it being full of fucking Maximals and Predacons that would mostly try and stop him. Nope, Megatron could beat them all. Now, to be fair, he is Transmetal too. It's a huge power spike. But they had Big Convoy, who literally holds the matrix of leadership. There's no possible way he should be able to be beaten by
Shit,
Megatron.
you just unlocked a part of my childhood. God
There it
damn
is. Unlocked, baby. So it ties into how Megatron is able to beat everyone on the planet. Very good. If you want to read it, I could spoil it here. It's old, but I could spoil it. I don't know. Producer, anyone else in talking to me currently? What do we think? Do I go for it? Fuck you, Dorfman! And there's a new Beast Wars comic coming out too that I'm gonna have to get. And it ties into the new series that's on Netflix, which is like a trilogy of series. So they got War for Cybertron, whatever what the second one was. I don't remember what the fuck it was. And the third one's gonna be called Kingdom, and it's like a Beast Wars reboot, kind of retelling, maybe remaster. I don't know how you want to put it, but I'm gonna be watching that. I don't really care about the other stuff because Autobots and Decepticons can fuck off for the most part. It's all about the Maximals and Predacons. And I was going to talk about something else.
This man has a love for 90s shit like you would not believe.
Yeah.
Start talking about Power Rangers, Nathan.
Oh, right. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was Power Rangers. So this is
Tommy,
now
the best Power
podcast.
Ranger.
This is now the Assassinate podcast where we just talk about 90s shit. Power Rangers did a similar thing with their comics, Shattered Grid, where Tommy, the Green Ranger, instead of like being saved by Zordon, goes full evil and embraces the green power. He kills Rita, takes the white Power Ranger power coin. That was going to go to Jason in this universe, but Tommy, because he's still a Ranger, can get into the command center. So he goes in, he kills Jason, takes the white power coin and Saba, and then he's like Lord Draken, and he's so powerful. Like, it's cool. So he takes all the power coins from the other Rangers and creates soldiers. So you got like the Black Power Ranger becomes foot soldiers, and he like mass produces them and shit, and like gives that out to troops and stuff. Then he's got his elite guard of like Red Rangers. They're the elite, and then the Yellow Rangers are like scouts, I think. It's shit like that. But he doesn't. The Pink Ranger, he only has one of, and it's Kimberly, and she's enslaved. That's a whole other thing, and we can get into that later if you really want to. But he can't get his hands on the blue power coin because Billy too fucking smart. So Billy saves it. Anyway, that's a whole thing. And it just came out because we're talking about comics, you know?
Yeah.
It's super cool. You guys should check it out if you want some not like Marvel or DC comics. I can talk about Transformers for fucking hours.
I just remember watching Beast Wars and like really enjoying it when I was younger. But
you would probably enjoy it now.
I just don't remember the details anymore.
It's very well written.
I don't think I even watched it.
Oh my god.
I watched... Okay, that's not true. I watched very little, but I didn't have cable. I grew up in the literal bush.
Yeah, same.
Not my problem, dude.
That's why I never read comics, because I was so far away from any comics.
It was also called Beasties in Canada. It wasn't called Beast Wars.
I don't like that. There's something weird about
shame.
saying beasties.
Well, you couldn't use the term war in a title in Canada. So you could say it in a children's program, but you couldn't have it be the title of anything. So
gotcha.
Beast Wars and War Planets came out over here as Beasties and Shadow Raiders. I believe the subtitle for Shadow Raiders was still War Planets, but that wasn't like in the title when you watched it here. It just said Shadow Raiders, which it's not like Beetleborgs. Beetleborgs is more like Power Rangers. And that you're a fucking nerd, Solstice. Fuck you. Get me started on a topic, and then you're like, man, this fucking guy is a fucking idiot.
What's the difference between Beetleborgs and Power Rangers?
All right, well, Beetleborgs, they were much younger. So instead, like teenagers with attitude, that's Power Rangers. When you get to Beetleborgs, it's like 12, maybe 13, and they get their powers from like Elvis Dracula and a Frankenstein monster and some werewolf that all live in a house together. It's not very good. And their transformation scenes are like in comic books. So I think what actually happens is like they have this comic called Beetleborgs, and they were reading it, and then they go to this haunted house, and they meet the vampire genie who can he transforms them into the Beetleborgs to fight some villains that came out of the comic somehow or some shit. I don't really know. I lost interest after one episode. I tried to rewatch it recently. It's not very good. And what's there? That's Beetleborgs Metallics. That's technically the second season.
No, it looks exactly the same, except for the
Metallic.
Beetleborgs look like they fucked the Teletubbies.
And that's Power Rangers
fucked
Turbo on the left.
When I look at them, all I can see is like bugs from the Monster Hunter games.
Right. That's because it's out of like all the fight scenes are out of Japan and Toei, right?
Oh,
like
right.
They're all, it's very similar. That's all Saban did in the 90s. They didn't create their own shit. They spent like a third of the time being like, hey, we got this shitty storyline that will somehow work into this fight scene. Yeah, so each season of each season of Super Sentai, that's the Power Rangers over here, and Kamen Rider they're all encapsulated in their own. I mean, we're on a huge tangent here again, but it extends.
It's still related.
So I'm calling it in. It's related. So each season of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, they all are encapsulated in their own season, and they're like 40 episodes each, maybe 50 depending on the series. But they're all start to finish encapsulated as this is your storyline this season, instead of being like, this is your storyline this season. We extended it for next season. I don't know why Japan does it that way. Maybe just I personally like it more.
I actually like stuff like that, and I'm finding I enjoy stuff like that more and more, where it's not a continuation of a storyline. It's those closed storylines where it's, the reason that American Horror Story has done so well in North America is because it's 12 episodes that are an hour long each, and that's your entire season. And then next season, it's going to be a whole different cast, including some of the people from the old cast.
I wouldn't say whole different. They use reuse most of the same actors, which is fine with me because they're telling a whole other story. They're different characters,
different time periods, different everything.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like Channel Zero did it too, where it's that what do they call it?
Black Mirror.
Yeah, Black Mirror does it.
Black Mirror, you can just sit down and watch any episode and it's different from the next one.
Yeah. And that's great. That like similar to like an old Twilight Zone or the Outer Limits.
That's a creepy one.
I don't know if you guys watched the Outer Limits in the 90s.
That Twilight Zone was originally started because he wanted to put his political views on TV, but not have it as a political view. Ooh. So he did it as a TV show with supernatural undertones to hide the fact that he had his political
I noticed there's a lot of political commentary. Yeah. But it's like it wasn't very direct. And it's like
and that's not a bad way to do it.
Yeah.
When you're like, hey, global warming's fucking shit. This is the last night these people were at. It's currently 60 degrees in their house. The planet's gonna burn up. It's like, from the outside, not thinking too deeply about it, you're like, wow, that's a shitty world. But when you think about it, you're like, oh fuck, that's kind of what we're doing.
I feel like Nathan likes the Great Saiyaman from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, you aren't wrong.
Great Saiyaman.
The Great Saiyaman, the Ginyu Force? Fuck yeah. Give me Ginyu Force all day.
Oh, yeah, I'm Hercule. You better believe I'll kick Cell's ass.
We are going to start doing the show. As I said, we're going to pick a topic for the day, and that's what we're going to try and focus on. Again, all three of us have ADD tendencies and tangent on everything, but we're going to try and stick to that topic for an hour. And that'll be our podcast for our Saturdays now, every 2 weeks. And that's what we're planning on doing.
Or maybe two, depending on how long we talk about one or the other.
Yeah.
Because I think like today we got everything I think we want to say about vinyl out. So
yeah.
To have our secondary topic come in, which is fine, I think.
Yeah.
And we tried to stay on topic. We did a pretty good job.
We did pretty good.
Part. I'm really proud of us. We've decided if you have a collection, send it to fucking Solstice. Fill up his inbox. Fuck that guy.
Or send it to SaturdayNightSadBoys@gmail.com. That does not exist. Don't send it there.
Oh, we don't have that yet. Don't send it. I was like, shit, do we actually have an email?
Good no. Wait, we do?
SaturdayNightSadBoys@gmail.com.
Oh, fuck.
Is that
That's
right?
actually what it is.
Did I guess it right?
Okay, so
oh my God.
If you guys have collections, take pictures of it and send it to SaturdaySadBoys@gmail.com.
Genuinely, I'd love to see some people's collections. And
Holy
then
shit.
Tell you how cool it is or how much we don't care.
We're gone. Bye.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Fuck it.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, guys. We will be doing, as we determined tonight, collections.
Oh
right.
My God.
I was Carl.
Really?
Yes, this was Carl over here. I'm Dudney. You guys can also type an exclamation point any of our names. And this is Assassin Nathan over here.
Wait,
this side. No.
If I go like
this side.
Is this pointing the right way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. Holy fuck.
Woo-woo.
That's convenient, isn't it? That's we could do a fusion dance. Hang on, let me. There it is. We'll get that in there. Fuse with me, Daddy. Okay, that's it. I am still Nathan, and I still have tinnitus.
Yes. We'll be back in 2 weeks, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night. You can exclamation point any of our names to find our own information. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Stay out of trouble. Don't be too sad.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking solid.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it.